Hey everyone, welcome back to Keeping Up with the Chaldeans. I'm Junior Bindu along with my main man, Anthony Toma. And today we're doing something a little fun and unique, which is much needed in our community. So we brought on SK Khashola and Sal from Khashola Capital, okay? And we're here to introduce them to talk to you about your financial needs after the banks dismiss your loans, where they can come into play, come in handy, and give some of you builders and home buyers under businesses a hand. So we're bringing them on. It's good to have you boys on.
Thank
you. And why don't you give some people the information of how this company came to be and how you two came to be partners and what the company's about.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
A little bit about our background. We come from mortgage finance, and as we were looking to expand on our own and leaving corporate, we looked at a variety of different lending solutions we could provide, and we really found that there isn't as many people servicing businesses, especially in the Michigan market.
Sure.
You can find a mortgage lender without even trying, but finding a business broker or a business lender that specializes in non-bank loans was very difficult. So we figured out that this is a need and this is something we can provide to the community that's different. And that's really how it came about. Sal and I did about a year worth of research to figure out different products, different solutions. We spent some time in New York meeting a lot of different lenders. And, you know, it ultimately came down to being able to give businesses an option for lending when everything else says no.
Right. So again, I appreciate you guys bringing us on. Like he mentioned, this is a new market. Probably not a lot of people know that there's these options out there.
Sure.
You know, our people think that if you, in order to start a business, you have to have the money.
Right.
But no, there's actually help out there, and that's something that we can offer. When we first started, it was focused on investors, maybe real estate. But then as we went on, we found out that there is actually this thing that we can help out with.
Sure.
And it's basically building business credits for new business owners and providing them with capital at the same time, which is something that we've never seen before. Like he mentioned, we both come from the mortgage side of things. So we want to help out the community, and it's also a good market to be in as well.
Nice. You know, you guys, you're doing what we call non-traditional, right? Non-traditional loans. Just so the viewers know, I got to meet you guys in the last year and a half. So you took me by surprise to understand what you're talking about, because I always thought that it's like a one and done. Banks shut you down, adios. You got to go to the streets, go get a street loan. And street loans are taxing your ass 20% plus. So you guys come in, you guys start talking to me about this. But what took me by surprise was, can you tell the viewers what your average points are percent-wise usually? Because when we go to do stuff in our industry, you're talking 18 to 20% on the stuff that we do. So if you want to let them be familiar with it, because it doesn't shock them when they hear this.
Absolutely. So on traditional businesses, so let's use an investor example that's buying real estate that's commercial, that needs rehab or needs to be re-outfitted in order to be ready to put in tenants. Traditional bank doesn't touch that. The alternative lenders that we have will touch such a project with rates that are going to range between the 6 to 9% and give you the ability to take on the project. They'll give you a budget to do some of the rehab, and then once the property is rented out and stabilized, they'll give you an opportunity to refinance into a more long-term product, or you can go to a bank at that point. Other examples are you are a residential homes investor, right? You want to buy real estate, you want to rehab it and flip it. Traditional banks don't give you that. The lenders we deal with will give you money to buy the house up to 90% of the cost to purchase it. And if you're experienced enough, they'll give you 100% of the rehab budget to fix the home up and then sell it. Or if you want to keep it and rent it out, they'll give you another loan to hold it long term. And all this is happening under an LLC, which gives you a level of protection against your own assets. So if the project goes wrong, you're not risking all your assets and a potential loss of that particular project.
So basically, what you're saying is, we can't go in under as Anthony Toma or Junior Bindu buying the home. Yeah. It's got to be Anthony Toma LLC or whatever corporation he makes. So you only deal with the business side of the loans under business, not individual. Right?
Yes, and some of our products.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah,
you also have
100%. Like you said, even if you don't have the entity set up, it doesn't hurt to set it up in the process or before. It doesn't have to be something that's established. Like we mentioned before, it's something that we can help you with. We're not just people that will give you the money or try to sell you something. It's more of understanding your situation, where you come from, what you want to do, and direct you in the right direction and show you the right way to do it.
Yep.
Not just tell you we have 3 different products, this is what you can do. We can offer multiple of products, of course, and programs, and there's pretty much everything for anybody.
What puts me in qualification, and once I'm in there, what qualifies me to get these loans since I'm going under business? Because individual, we usually go, tax returns and all that, right? So what's the process under this?
Sure. So first, I need to pull your credit. I'm just kidding. It's going to be the property itself when it comes to real estate.
Okay.
The property is going to matter a lot, depending on how much money you need for it. For example, if you're buying a $100,000 property and then you need $300,000 to fix it, that's of course going to set some things off.
I got you.
So it has to be reasonable projects. It has to be a property that you have the return on it, or you have actually the plan to do it. Again, with real estate, you actually have to have those plans in place. Either you want to fix it and flip it, or if you're looking to rent it. When you're looking just to rent a property like that, you probably have to have about an 80% occupancy rate.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, there's another solution.
Got you.
So
what about if in the case we've talked about this before, and stuff in the past, when you develop and build, right? Let's just say, you might say the project is $3 million and I've got that from you guys. Well, how do you guys help us also, if in case, for example, all of a sudden with expectations it's jumped up to now a $3.7 million project and I'm short and I need to take that gap and cover that 700 G's. What do I do? Is that something I turn to you guys to try to go get help with? Is that called like bridging a loan, or is that am I saying it right?
Yeah.
So is that where you guys can help as well too? So if I need that extra cash injection?
We certainly can help with that. We have lenders that'll give you bridge loans to get you to the end zone when you have a project that's over budget. Obviously, with a large scale project like that, the valuation of the project when it's done has to make sense. They're not going to give you an additional $700,000 if when you're done the project's only worth $4 million. There has to be some margin of profit on your end in order for that bridge lender to come in, but it's definitely something we can help with. I think the point that Sal was making is it's all situational. Depending on the project, depending on the business, depending on your goals, the type of products and solutions we can offer are going to be different. What we're really after doing is becoming more of an advisor, right? I don't want you to wait until you absolutely have a need to call me. Call me before you figure out your need. Call me because you have an idea and a concept you want to go after, or call me because you are an experienced developer or you're an experienced business owner and you want to go through an expansion. You just don't know how to go about it from a financing perspective, right? We want to be advisors. We want to be a part of the solution to help you come up with a plan before you have started tackling it. Because the earlier on we're involved, the better we can position you to obtain the financing. Because if there is a challenge with your personal credit, or if there is a challenge with the assets you can put up as collateral, we can kind of solve for that proactively, and we can come up with that plan for you to qualify with 1 or 2 lenders in advance, and that helps you better prepare. We do things with franchising. If you want to pursue a franchise, there's things we can offer there. If you're a business owner that's been renting for 3 or 4 years, but now you want to buy your own building, right? We can help you make those transitions. I want people to think of us as a go-to advisor, not just the lending option, because if we can be involved early on, we can position you in a way to win. Even if it's not right now, it could be in the next 6 to 12 months. And that's ultimately why we chose this business.
Why don't you give us a few more real life examples? Like you gave us the franchising example. You gave us the existing tenant that's wanting to buy their building. Who else can you kind of, I guess, signal to say, hey, that's me.
Absolutely. So let's say you are someone who is considering opening a business. To Sal's point, most people think you need all the capital to start. We can help that type of individual that's considering starting a business go through the process of setting up their business, go through the process of helping them establish the business credit, and go through the process of helping them access business-related debt, such as revolving lines of credit, vendor accounts, things of that nature, so they have a baseline for starting that business. So it could be someone that wants to start a restaurant. It could be someone that wants to start some type of salon. It really can be any type of business you're looking to begin, as long as you have a good credit baseline. You have to have a decent credit score, 650 or above, and we can help you start establishing that credit to launch your business.
So does someone need to be starting something new? Does the money need to be earmarked for something, or is there cash out options and stuff like that for existing established businesses?
So for that, there's a bunch of options depending on your revenue. If you're established, if you're just starting, we can help you build that capital. And then we have vendors that you can take that capital and convert it to like cash if you want to pay like a contractor or some of your vendors as well. So there is that option. Most of the credit that is built for new business is in terms of like credit cards. Think of it as a credit card. So, but we help you actually get more than you need. For example, if you're just making $50,000 this year on your business, you can probably get up to $150,000 in a year from now in credit. Now you can use that money for anything you want. A lot of real estate investors use it to put for a down payment. They use it for fix and flip projects if they want to just get started. Business owners use it to buy equipment with it, payroll, or even, like I mentioned, do anything with their business that they want to expand.
Is there an inventory option? Like if I say I'm in the retail space, I wanted to increase my inventory by $50,000. Can I come to you guys and?
There's definitely options where we can give you lines of credit that you can access for up to 12 months, where you can tap into that line of credit and use it. There is, inventory-based loans that you can get to do that. Absolutely. We usually like to be involved on the side of if you want to expand, if you want to buy a new location, if you have an existing building, to your point of cash out, if you have a business location that you own that is free and clear or has a great amount of equity in it that you haven't tapped into, we can help you leverage that.
So Junior mentioned cannabis space.
Yes.
Is that something that you guys are involved in? And if you can, kind of explain your role in that and what you can and can't do.
So from the cannabis perspective, we are involved in it, just not as heavily. I have two different sources that can fund cannabis projects as long as real estate is involved. If the real estate is included, they can help from ground up construction to outfitting the place, and they'll consider its cannabis use value, which is very important because cannabis has a different value than traditional real estate. And they could fund that entire project up to 70% of the cost and up to actually up to 90% of the cost, but up to 70% of the after completion value. And they'll give you a 2 to 3 year term loan. Those loans are a little bit more expensive because it is cannabis. Those loans are going to be around the 12% interest rate. But you get a 1098, which means you can write off the interest. You're not going to the street where if you're paying it back.
And you're low, just didn't mean to cut you, but you are lower than most credit choice banks and stuff like that by about 8 or 9% less.
If you can get it.
If you can get it. You're right. If you can get it. I had a question for you. It's a two-part question. Kind of ties in what Anthony's saying here too. But so first part is after I find you, what's the first step when I get to you? And then how much am I able to get from you? I know it's case by case, but do you guys offer, like, is there a minimum that I have to go through you, or is there a maximum that it can reach, or is it anywhere, like, you know, can you cover up to $100 million? You know what I mean?
That's a great question. So for real estate development, we have funding sources that'll go up to $500 million.
Okay.
So as far as lenders, we have different lenders that have minimums. We have lenders in real estate that won't touch your project if it's less than $2 million. We have lenders that won't touch it if it's under 5 or 20.
Got you.
So part of what we do is a discovery call. The first conversation we have is really getting to understand who you are, what you do, what you're looking to accomplish, and then identifying what funding sources we can put you through. We have 60 direct relationships with lenders and funding sources, some family offices. Family offices are based on wealthy families that invest in different projects, right? So it really depends. As far as what minimums we're willing to work with, there isn't a minimum, right? Because even if I can't help you in that moment, and I don't have a funding source for you, I'm going to give you some type of direction and some type of feedback that's going to leave you better off than we started, right? So our end goal is anyone that's interested in business funding, business finance, give us a call. We'll talk to you in the first conversation. We'll figure out what it is we can do for you. And if we can't, we're still going to give you some direction. But as far as minimums, I mean, we have lenders that'll fund a business as low as $5,000. If you need $5,000 to get you to the end of the month because of, you know, you're waiting on some invoices to kick in and you just need something to carry you over, we have lenders that'll fund you quick capital for as low as $5,000. And we have lenders that'll give you up to $1 million in unsecured, you know, working capital loans if your business can, you know, can handle that. Right, you have to show enough revenue to get that type of loan. So I guess to answer your question is, we can get up to $500 million in funding if it's a construction project with multifamily or industrial, and then as far as unsecured working capital, it can be as low as $5,000.
I think with that information, you got a lot of people's attention.
Yeah.
So why don't you share your number again real quick so that they know how to get a hold of you.
The best way to reach me is 586-495-6592. And then Sal?
248-595-1181. These are direct lines to us. You're not calling somebody and then connected. So we'll talk to you directly. One more thing that we didn't touch on is these kind of services are usually paid services. You have to pay to get to somebody to consult you to do a certain thing. We don't do that.
Right.
This is not our business model. We will get paid once you are helped. So, you know, it's not something that you have to pay for, of course. No consulting fee or anything. We will direct you put you in the right direction, of course. And like I mentioned in the beginning, this is all brand new, probably to the community itself. Like I mentioned, our community just works and saves money, and then they go out and they put all their hard-earned money into something.
Well, no offense, but you took away. Like, you become our first option instead of the street option. No offense. I mean, you know, that always comes out. Street helping on loans, you know what I mean? Like, you went to borrow from a friend or whoever it was. Shit, they're most of the time 20% plus. You know? So. And
I think what you two did is you created a solution for a current problem of today. These kinds of loans and this service wasn't needed in the past. Now with the creativity and all of the expanding businesses and services that we're into, that this is a perfect product for and a solution for a problem that's ongoing and growing in our community, and you guys are problem solvers. It's very, very cool.
I was at the American Chaldean Chambers dinner, and there was a statistic that was mentioned that blew my mind. 6 out of 10 households that are Chaldean own one business. 4 out of 10 own 2 or more businesses. And in order to expand and build that type of business, you need access to capital. So I could only imagine having access to more capital. Maybe we could jump that up to 8 out of 10 households that are in businesses. Because as a community, we're very entrepreneurial and we're very independent, and we like to build, you know, outside of other people's control. And I think a lot of people have aspirations to have their own business, especially in our community. So if now you have another option to help you kind of establish a plan, even if you're not ready right now. And to get you to that point, I think that statistic can jump up significantly.
Just to take a quick pause from it so the viewers, firsthand, who are all the markets and the segments that you guys are looking for? Are you trying to have people to work with you from the housing markets? Are you looking for people that are in the banks and can't finish and close it and need to send it to you? Loan officers, who are your target partnerships that we can help you get with?
That's a great question. The first focus right now for us is people that want to enter entrepreneurship but don't quite know how to. Right? That's really our main focus. We want to help those people establish a business credit, establish access to capital that traditionally isn't as easily accessible. Okay. And then the second layer is experienced entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You have a business that you've been running for 2 or 3 years. You have aspirations of expanding or buying your building. That's really who we're after. Yeah. And then the third bucket is the investors. Yeah. You are an experienced investor, but your bank isn't letting you scale as fast as you can or take on the type of projects that you know you can make a bigger profit with. Those are really the people we're after. So just to reiterate, number one is people that are new to entrepreneurship or want to enter entrepreneurship. Number two is businesses that have existed for a while but don't have access to the expansion capital they think they need. And then the third is investors. If you're an investor, whether it's single family residences or commercial real estate or multifamily, and you want to develop a project that you don't have the funding sources to, those are really our target audiences. And then ultimately, if you don't fit any of those buckets, still call, because we will be happy to have a conversation and point you in a direction, even if it means we're not the ones involved in helping you with that financing.
Good.
You guys have social channels that you use?
Yes. We are on all social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Khashola Capital. You can find me as SK Khashola on all of them as well. And then
for me, it's simple. Sal Nissan.
So, like the car.
Just like the car. Unfortunately, we don't have anything from the Nissan, though.
Yeah. Can you just, for the audience, just because it's like I said, it's outside that. There was a second part to it. I was wanting to off subject because in tradition, Khashola.
Khashola.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the way you say so, Khashola. So when I came to you about a few weeks ago, and I said to you, wait, how do you say your last name? And I said, how do you spell it? And I've known you for 1.5 years, and I've heard it, but just give a little bit of how long you've been here. And if I'm not mistaken, you said you guys were some of the last Chaldeans out from some of the villages as families to migrate back here to the United States. So
so I moved here in 2007. I moved to the States when I was 14 years old, and my last name is Khashola. My family's from Tilkef, and my family, at least my dad's side, the Khashola side, was back home up until recently. I actually still have first cousins and uncles that live back home in Baghdad right now.
I thought we didn't have much left back there.
So when we moved here,
I have first cousins there too.
You still do right now?
I swear.
Yeah.
Wow.
We still have a small part of our community that lives there. But obviously, the life there is not as it could be here. When we moved here in 2007, I spoke 2 words in English. I knew orange and banana. Those were my go-to. When someone would say hello, I'd say orange and then follow it up with banana. I went to high school for a couple years. And obviously, with being Chaldean, we take responsibility and we support our families as much as we can. Dropped out of high school, took odd jobs, and somehow I landed in corporate after, beating my head against a wall, interviewing 7 or 8 times for Wells Fargo. Finally figured out how to get the job as a personal banker. Worked there for about 1 year, and then I moved back from California to Michigan, and I started working at Quicken Loans. I spent about 5.5 years there. My last role there, I was a director of business development, a role that requires significant experience that I didn't have, but I figured out how to sell myself into the role, and
it was the eyebrows, bro.
It was the eyebrows.
See the dark complexions. They're like, we want him.
Yes.
We want him.
So we close out every show by asking, what does it mean to you to be Chaldean?
I will answer that one.
Yeah.
For me, it means the community. like he said, we came here when we were just like 13, 14 years old. We were not born here. So we come from families that don't know a lot about, commercial business and all that stuff. So it's nice for us to be able to help our community. We speak the language, Chaldean, Arabic, everything. But to answer your question, what means to me to be a Chaldean, it is the community. It is that community, it's our church as well that makes us who we are today. Yeah. And without those, we're pretty much not existent.
Gotcha. What about you?
It means a lot. I'll be honest with you. For a long time, when I moved here, I embraced being an American. Right? Yeah. I'm an American now. I'm in America. I gotta adapt. I gotta know the system, the rules, and how to play and how to interact. And as I've gotten older and as I've matured, I've realized that who I am and what helped me excel in corporate or in anything I've done has been our culture. Yep. It's been the values of hard work. It's been the values of loyalty and trust. It's been the values of genuinely caring about the person next to you. And those values are what helped me excel in an environment that would have been pretty difficult to, right? Yeah. Because we're taught from a young age to look out for one another. And we're taught from a young age to work as hard as you can. I watched my dad wake up at 6 a.m. growing up and come home at 11 p.m. every single day. It was normal. Very normal. Yeah. To us, it's normal. What's crazy is the family unit, right? The church is very big part of our life, but even more so our family. And in American culture, once you're 18, you move out and you forget about your parents, you forget about your siblings, you kind of go on and do your own thing. And what it means to me to be Chaldean is I know I have a support system that is with me for life. Yeah. I can count on my brothers, I can count on my uncles, I can count on the people that are around me. And I think that's what makes our community so damn special. It's the fact we look out for each other and we pave a path for each other and we support each other as much as we can. And that is very special to us. For sure. It really is.
100%.
Great way to wrap the show. Thanks for joining us, you guys. It was
Thank you, guys.
Very informative. I know you're going to get a lot of calls from this. You got a lot of people's attention. Junior, want to close us out?
Yeah. First, I'd like to give a shout out to your brother. We wouldn't be here in position with this conversation if it wasn't for his brother, Landy. Landy's a great guy, and I just want to give him a shout out. He introduced him to me about 10 months ago. No, almost a year ago. Him and I got introduced. So I want to give him a shout out. Again, good family.
Thank you, Landy.
So make sure you guys, you're in need of money. These are the guys to go to. You guys need to do all these constructions, developments, any type of projects. Khashola Capital. Myself, Junior Bindu, Anthony Toma, and the boys, we're going to be kicking off. Make sure you guys go to YouTube, subscribe. All their stuff will be on the links below. You can listen to their programs on Spotify, iTunes, on the car, and make sure you reach out to them for your cash needs. From myself, Anthony, and the boys, we are signing off.